Yo, Sony, give us the A7 IV. How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to talk about how I'm ready for the A7 IV. So let's jump right into it. If you're a Sony user and you have either an A7 III or anything relatively close to it, whether it's A7 II, A7R2, whatever it is, I think you can agree with me that it is due for an upgrade of the A7 III. Now, Sony has been holding off on us. Not really liking that feeling there, Sony, but I understand in time and day of technology and everything that's progressing, and you have to see what your competitors are doing and all that good stuff. You want to kind of build the suspense, but when is it enough? When is this rumored concept of the A7 IV gonna be confirmed? I know Sony Alpha Rumours likes to put out all the rumors that they hear and everything like that, and I know for the most part, a lot of times they're pretty good with their rumors, but I am tired of that. Rumors. Sony, just give us the good stuff, confirm it, at least, so I know if I need to wait to upgrade this from an A7 III to go to an A7 IV, or if I should look into the A7S III or something along those lines. Do I wanna fork over that extra cash? Probably not, but if it's gonna give me a little bit more peace of mind knowing that I didn't get the A7S III when I could have just been fine with the A7 IV and saved a little bit of that extra price difference, because there's gonna be a price difference, would have been great. So just put me out of my misery here. I know a lot of you can probably relate, and give it to us, you know, a little bit of hope. So now let's talk about a little bit of the rumors and what the good old specs and all that good stuff it's rumored to be. A lot of the stuff that I hear, it sounds great at what it is, but I'm expecting a little bit more, and not because I'm greedy and I want the most out of the A7 IV because I don't want to spend the extra money to have 4K 120 on the A7S III. But if I look into the comparison like I did in a previous video talking about what I expect from the A7 IV, is I don't see why we can't have 4K 120. You don't have to give us a 422 10-bit color, but you can give us the 4K. This has 120 in 1080p. We don't need 1080p again and Ultra HD and all that stuff. We need an upgrade. From the A7 III to the A7S II, they have pretty much the same specs. The only difference is more megapixels in my opinion from what I remember, because it wanted to be more of a hybrid shooting type of camera, but it didn't have the king of, you know, low light when it came out with the A7S II compared to this. But that's why we have the A7S III for that. Great low light, great color range and all that stuff, and dynamic and all that good stuff. But now with the A7 IV, I know with the rumors they're talking about the megapixels being 33 megapixels censored, which to me is fine. I don't care if I have 33 or 24 as long as it doesn't go above that. I have my Sony A7R III that I'm currently filming with that has 42, and that's good enough for me. I know the autofocus is supposed to be a lot better. I think it's going to be just like the Sony A7S III, which, I mean, you kind of need to be giving the best bang for your buck because you're replacing a legend. This camera is probably the only reason Sony has been able to really keep up putting out cameras, because most people tend to go with the A7 III, at least most people that I know that have switched over to a full frame lineup, and it's probably their best selling camera overall. If I'm wrong, I don't care, because I just believe that this is one of the best cameras that you can get for the money, and I know most people kind of, you know, get that as well. Now, for the thing that I kind of read is that they're supposed to only be giving out 4K 60, which is kind of fine. Like, obviously you don't need to be doing slow motion 120 all the time, but when it comes down to the specs of a camera that's supposed to be replacing this, you kind of want to go above and beyond so that it sells. Like, you don't want it to outshadow and whatnot the Sony A7S III or the A1 and all that stuff, obviously, because some people were kind of claiming it was going to have 8K, which care for that, or I would have, you know, saved up for the A1. But the 4K 120, I think that's kind of like a bare minimum now with what these cameras are going. Technology has improved so much that it's taken them a while to put out the next version of this. So I think with that set in mind, Sony just needs to, you know, bring out their A game and, you know, surprise us and give us everything. Like, I'm tired of reading rumors left and right, video after video of that stuff from other people. Obviously you're here watching this, so thank you. But for me, it's more of a rant video, not so much like I'm updating you with every little spec rumor that I hear from good old Sony Alpha Rumors and then every other video spreading it. But to me, it's just, enough is enough, Sony. Give us what we want. At least the confirmation of specs. You don't have to release it like in October how supposedly people are rumoring, because I highly doubt that's gonna happen with a chip shortage. But at least for a peace of mind to be able to go, you know what, I can wait because the specs on that camera are confirmed and they look phenomenal and I'm gonna get it. Or I'll go, you know what, that camera is probably not for me. I'll work on saving up a little bit extra to go with the A7S III or FX3, something along those lines, just because I know it'll be what best suits my needs. For me, I use my Sony A7 III more for video, but I still do use it for stills, especially if I want to bring only one camera body. I tend to bring my Sony A7 III more than my Sony A7R III. So this is being replaced more for a video kind of first with some photos. So for me, the A7S III looks phenomenal still, even though it's 12 megapixels. The only difference to me is that if the Sony A7 IV has really good specs that I can go, you know what, I don't need the A7S III because let's say that it still does 4K 120 but not in 10-bit, I'm okay with that. I mean, I can make the slow motion of, you know, 1080p 120 over here look pretty decent. I know it can fall apart a little bit easier, but I would prefer it being in 4K so it just holds a little bit better and I would be fine. But I don't like hearing that it's like everybody's like, oh well, it can only have 4K 60 because that's what it should. It can't overpower the Sony A7S III or else they won't sell it. Do you know who you're talking to here? It's Sony. They literally put out the A7C to literally get rid of almost the A6000 series cameras because they're the same kind of body in a full frame. They don't care. They know that people are gonna pick whatever fits their best needs. They just have a huge arsenal that they're using to basically put out cameras that fits everybody's needs to take over in that aspect. Like with Canon, right? The R5 and R6, that's it. That's the only ones I really know from Canon that are like relevant enough for competition, like against Sony, right? Like they have the M50 series and they're not horrible from what I've heard, but I don't see that many consumers going for that. They kind of try to go with something more beneficial to them. So that's why I feel like Sony starts kind of bringing in a lot of their A+ game, because it's either they'll spend on Sony or like Fujifilm when it comes down to a more kind of user-friendly consumer-based camera. And Canon, a lot of people, the ones that I know of at least, tend to go with Canon when it comes down to more professional kind of work style. That's why some people still get like the 5D Mark III or whatever it is for camera, like as a camera, because even though it's like a DSLR, they still get it because they know that you'll get really good photos out of it and the colors and everything from Canon. But a lot of like the lower end cameras don't really do much, I guess. So like they're lower, and this is lower, is like their R6, and it's a phenomenal camera from everybody that I know that has it. But now with Sony, the A7 III was the bridge of amateur to professional, where you could get a good camera to become more involved in your craft, to get better and better, in my opinion. That's what happened to me. I went from the A6000 to this, and it opened up a huge door for me to just really get into video and photography, because there's so much more that I could do for such a price. I mean, this camera now, it's like about $1,700 to $2,000 depending on the day, if it has a sale or what, and then you can get it with a lens as well. So I feel like the A7 IV just needs to stop being a rumor, and Sony needs to, you know, cough up the facts and just tell us this is what it is, and it's gonna be either available in October or the end of the year or early next year. I don't care, but I wanna know the specs. So Sony, stop holding us hostage here. Put us out of our misery and, you know, give us the facts. But that's it. That's the rant. Thank you so much for watching. You know, like, I mean, I just kind of had to get that out of my chest. Hopefully it's not really stupid and you can relate, because it felt good to just say it and get it out of my system. So thank you for watching if you got this far, because I know I'm I'm not really doing anything creative with this part. It's just more of a rant, and I appreciate you probably using this as a therapeutic feeling. So welcome to therapy. If you need a moment of silence for your thoughts to talk to me about your frustrations, let's do it right now. Yeah, I agree. You're right. It's punishment what they're doing. Correct. Yeah. That's hard. I can't believe that you've been saving 3 kittens from that fire, and Sony should reward you with that information of the Sony A7iv. I agree with that. It's very true. They'll give it to you. Don't worry, bro. You got this. Alright, that was the end of the therapy session. Got inspired from this guy that does bass videos. So yeah, he's a very funny guy. Yeah, Davey504. If you didn't get that and you've never seen his videos, he has some therapy time at the end of his videos sometimes randomly, and I think it's hilarious. So it's a good day to try that therapy, because clearly have some things bundled up in myself that I needed to get out with this video. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.